Hey guys, okay, so this video is a request from my friend Julia, and she wanted to know what I thought about long distance dating. So a couple of thoughts came to my mind. Number one, no, I have never been in a long distance relationship, so this is purely opinion. It's not, the right opinion or anything, it's just what I think. So when it comes to long distance dating, I think a few factors have to go into play. Number one, how far is the distance? Is it within the same state? Is it within the same country? Is it across country? Is it military? What kind of distance are we talking about? Number two, is each person on the same page as the other as to what they're committed as and how much work they're both willing to put in and able to put in? Because it's not about always what you want to do. It's also about your schedules, your job you may have, how much classes are you taking, things like that have to go into consideration. And the last one is your parentals, if you're younger, if your parents or whoever you're living with know about this, and whether it's a secret you're hiding every night on the phone or it's something that they're aware about, and how you can actually talk to them, and they'll know that your minutes will be different every month, and support basically from your family. All right, so back to the first point. First of all, how much is the distance? Is it same state? Is it across country? Is it different countries? That definitely matters. And how much you're willing to visit and what month or what day or week or whatever both of you are able to meet up. For example, if someone's living in Jacksonville, Florida, and this other half is living in, let's say, Orlando or, I don't know, Tampa or something in Florida, that's doable, I believe. If you're both willing to put in the time, if you're both willing to meet halfway or take turns driving, and each of you are, 18 and older, and you can actually have cars and things like that, that definitely goes into play as well. Also, if it isn't like that and it's across states, like Florida, Georgia, that's fine, maybe a couple of hours, but Florida, Massachusetts, or Florida, California, or, I don't know, Florida and Japan, like that, it starts to get a little bit more complicated. And I don't think I'm not going to say it's the wrong thing to do, but I wouldn't feel that it's worth committing to somebody if they're going to be across a different country. Like, for me personally, I like to see the person that I'm with. I like to spend time. I like them to be in my life actively. I can't do the whole waiting for 6 months or waiting for each month to come by so I can finally see him again. I just can't do that. I need attention, and I like to be attached to the person that I'm with. So you can label that whatever you want, but that's just how I am personally. So you also have to be aware of what you are and how you are in a relationship. Do you like space? Maybe that's good for you if you like distance. Or do you actually need the person around you enough that it wouldn't be that you're living, hours and hours away. One more point before I go on to the third one is that, did this relationship begin with in the same state and all of a sudden it's becoming distant relationship, or was it always a long distance relationship? Did you meet online or something, or you met through friends and this person was on vacation and then you guys went your separate ways? I think that matters too, because especially if you once lived in the same area, you're used to one thing and you're used to having it that way, and then all of a sudden one person moves away, it's going to make it completely different. It's a whole different picture. So that also definitely matters, I think, when you think about this topic. Number two is actually quite simple. I think that if the person and yourself are not committed on the same level, like, for example, you want to call them boyfriend and they want to not call you girlfriend, they just want you to be waiting for them or whatever the situation is, you both have to be on the same page. It has to be boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, or engaged, we're just talking, it has to be like that. It can't just be one person thinks that you're committed and it's going to be Facebook status or whatever, and the second person is just like, oh no, I just wanted to claim you, I don't actually want a relationship. So that one's pretty simple, and if the person's not willing to do that, don't waste your time and don't beg, because even if the person did it for you, it's not that they really wanted to, they're just pleasing you, so you don't want that anyway. And the last and final is that your family's support. It's not about needing permission and things like that, it's the fact that if you're going to have to sneak around, it's going to be really hard to visit the person, it's going to be very hard to talk to them on the phone, even if you don't have your own cell phone plan, especially if you're in your family's plan, that's going to affect you a lot if your minutes are different every month, or texting suddenly needs to be unlimited. They're gonna need to know reasons so they can maybe support you and help you out. And if you don't have a car or you don't have a license, perhaps your parents or your siblings can actually help you, meet halfway, this and that, if it's that important to you. But if you're that young and you don't have those things, I don't think that you should be in that much of a committed relationship anyway. I feel like you should live your life and, have fun being young. But people find people at a young age, so you never know. So you have to have that family support, because if not, it's going to be very difficult to actually have a relationship. It's always secrecy and hiding and lying and covering up. And how many girlfriends or boyfriends can you actually have, like just friends you can keep lying about and putting them in the middle of it? You don't want to do that. That's just stress that you don't need. And finally, my thoughts on the topic is that make sure the person that you're with and this relationship that's being long distance, you have an understanding that you both know it's going to be hard. You're both aware that it's not the easiest thing, and there's going to be times that you fight. The main part about any relationship is that both people are not willing to give up. The minute that someone is a leaver or always trying to get out or break up or whatever, that's a big sign that you should just leave, because they're constantly going to threaten you with that, and they don't actually want to be there. They may say they're committed, but their actions are showing that they're not committed. For whatever reason, they just can't do that, and you can't always expect people to be on the same level of commitment that you are on, so you have to also know that. Another thing is that boys and girls are different, so whoever's watching this, if you're a guy, if you're a girl, it's going to be different to everyone. Girls, I feel that a lot of girls I know, we need attention, we need, to be held, we want to be talked to, this and that. If you're in classes, the person living in, I don't know, let's just say Florida, you're in school, you have classes, and let's say the guy or girl or whatever that you're going to be with is in Georgia, not too far away, so it's doable, but this person happens to be in the military, so their schedule is completely different than yours. And for example, the only time they're able to talk is during the evening hours, where you actually need to be doing your homework and going to sleep because you have to get up early the following day. It's not going to work like that, because you have to know that there has to be set times or set dates that you guys set aside for this relationship to work. Communication is number one. Besides physically seeing someone, you have to communicate, whether it's texting, emailing, calling. There has to be a relationship somehow, because if not, you drift away, you drift apart. Some people say long distance makes the heart grow fonder, but I don't know if I believe in that, because I really think that people need to be reminded, and they need to feel that you love them. It's not so much about reminding them, it's the fact that they know without a doubt that you're there for them, that no matter what, you'll be there. And sometimes if you're going through a lot, or if your family's going through a lot, and the person that you rely on most, your other half, is in a different state or a different area, it's so hard for them to be there for you, even though they want to, they just can't be there, and that can actually break you apart. So you want to take these things into consideration, that maybe the person you're going to commit to and be in a relationship with is someone that you're able to go to when you need them. They're able to be around for you because you're in the same area. And if you're a lot older and, you have your stuff together, maybe even like moving sometimes is an option, but I wouldn't recommend moving to someone just to live with them for just a relationship. Maybe if you're engaged, that's different, but just the simple dating, I don't think that, unless there's like, you're done with school and there's a job there, I just don't think that's a really good idea. I think that you need to put yourself first, and then in the relationship it can excel because you're your person, that other person is their own person, and together you're becoming this bond and whatever. But if your whole life is based on somebody else and their happiness, and the fact that when you're with them is the only time that you're able to breathe and happy, that's not healthy, and you should really take some time and get to know yourself and get to actually love yourself, and just, be your own friend. I know it sounds kind of corny or whatever, but be your own friend, know what you like, know what you don't like, and be able to pick it out or call it out when you don't want to be somewhere. Don't just commit to someone and then you realize that I really don't want this, but I don't want to hurt them. You're hurting yourself, and that's even worse. So you're going to be miserable. You have to always put yourself first, and always make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, and when you don't feel that it's working out, these are just my thoughts on the topic. And thanks, Julia, for requesting it. And if anybody else has any requests or anything like that, I would love to make these type of videos more so than my random, picture collages and stuff. So comment please, or subscribe, and just leave me with your thoughts, because I'd like to know what you guys thought. So thank you very much.